Okay.
and Spring, Hibernate, all the J2EE web technologies only. Okay.
All right. Same like
So
me.
with
Yeah.
respect to ETL and data warehousing, right now I'm just learning on the talent part. Okay, that's
Talenty.
all
Yeah.
I'm
Yeah. Data
talent. Yeah.
integration one. Yeah.
Yeah, that's the one I'm using right now. And with respect to all the big data things, I'm zero.
All right.
That's about me.
Right. And Ram, can anyone knows about Ram?
Yeah, actually Ram working in is a data storage part actually. He's not
Okay.
application end or he's not like that. Actually he's support for data storage.
Storage. Okay. Obviously.
Yeah.
Okay. Okay. You're already picking the Skype. So obviously your previous experience and now it's very plus point to go to this technology. Most of the people who are the .NET developer, Java programmers, DBAs, SQL developers, right, automation testers, mainframe guys, they're easy to go into transfer to this career of our big data technologies, right? And about me, my name is Venkat Billa. I was working since 11 years in IT industry. So same like Balaji, I work in J2 technology. I used to be working Java J2 technologies like Hibernate and Struts and JSF framework. After that, then I was to work with database technologies, right, business intelligence, reporting tools, and especially. And then I used to transfer to this technology, Hadoop technology. 2011 ending, I start to work from the Hadoop projects. Almost I done 4 projects, including with the freelance projects. I done 7 projects, Hadoop especially. And Spark, we are working since 1 year. I done 1 POC in 1 project in Spark. So now both technology going to equally now at the moment now, the project development and implementation. Only I'm playing as a senior developer and architecture in the project. Okay. So most of the
And
times,
you are with the RBS right now, isn't it?
yeah, I used to be RBS. Yes. Now present working at Walmart Labs. Yeah.
Ah, okay. Okay. Walmart Labs, which one? Bangalore?
Bangalore. Yes. So we are taking the complete
Okay. Where
Walmart
in
data.
Bangalore?
Bangalore, you
Where
know
in Bangalore?
Belandur? You know Belandur?
Yeah, I know Balandur.
Yeah.
Yeah.
The way you go to Martali left side, you can see that company.
I was in Martali only.
Yes. Yes. If you before crossing the JP Morgan, you can see the left side.
Correct.
Snapdeal.com is there and right. How many years back you see
Okay.
that?
1 year back.
Yeah. If you seen the Snapdeal.com,
Yeah.
yeah, beside the
I know
building.
Balandur well.
Yeah. Yes.
Bakasur.
Exactly. After crossing the EcoSpace only, just 2 minutes from
Yeah.
EcoSpace. So I used to
Fine,
work
fine,
like
fine.
that. I used to work with different type of data, not only structured data. So and logs data, binary data, XML formats, right, text formats, table format, all the formats we used to work with the analyzing the data in offline, online streaming also. Last 6 months onwards, we are working on the streaming analysis. Now coming future also streaming is going to be very demanding. Now already started. Some companies working in the streaming analysis also, depends on the client requirements. But most of the projects, batch processing offline, batch processing online analysis, especially of the big data analysis with the using Hadoop and Spark. Okay, so I will explain you completely today in the demo end to end of the project. I mean, how the industry using that, what is the end of the project, what is the deliverable of the project. I will clearly explain the complete Hadoop development, and if I have time, I'll explain the Spark introduction and all things. I will discuss you definitely the Spark and versus Hadoop, the difference between Hadoop. Most of the people are going to confuse with the Hadoop and Spark. People without learning Hadoop, they want to go to Spark. That is very big mistake. So first of all, you should be perfect in Hadoop. Then we used to go to Spark also. So definitely Spark will not never replace Hadoop. Obviously, Hadoop is very important for Spark. Okay, nowadays the 90% of the projects for big data analysis we are using the software Hadoop only. 5% or 8, so 3% of companies using Spark now. Maybe in coming future after 4 5 years, maybe Spark is going to be most of the companies using. Okay, I'll tell you what are the main issues in Spark and what are the main issues in Hadoop, and what can you do in the Hadoop software. What will you do with the Spark also. Okay, first of all, the first word we are hearing this since long, almost 7 years onwards, we are hearing the one very popular word is that Hadoop. And at the same time, people are hearing this one more word is that big data. And at the same time, people are hearing this word is that Cloudera. And people are using that Apache. So these are 4 popular common words we are hearing that. So people are confusing that what is the Cloudera, what is the big data, what is Hadoop. At the same time, and people are hearing this nowadays, AWS and EMR. Yes. So
And
all these,
also the NoSQL DBs.
yes, I will tell you all things. Okay, they're all coming to Hadoop. Okay, NoSQL, all is coming to Hadoop. Okay, so yeah, first of all, the Hadoop and big data. So what is the main terms of this technology? Most of the people are confusing that what is the big data. Okay, big data is not a software. Big data is a database. Big data is a concept. You know, RDBMS is the concept. To solve that RDBMS, we have so many OLTP technologies: SQL, MySQL, DB2, Sybase. All these are MSSQL, MySQL. All these technologies are there to analyze the structured data analysis. And here, big data is, I'm telling the concept. If you want the meaning of big data, the large volumes of data, the data which is given by client in the terabytes and petabytes, zettabytes are more than that size also. Whatever size of the data given to you, the large data given to you, then obviously it's a big data. That is the meaning of the big data. Big data is not a software, it's not a database, nothing. Just is a sub concept. To solve this problem in the world, there is only one software in the world given by Apache, that is the Hadoop. So Hadoop is just software. Hadoop is an analytical tool, or you can say analysis tool. Hadoop is a framework, or Hadoop is an ecosystem which is using for analyzing the big data. And you're going to apply the analysis skills on the big data, you're going to apply the analytical skills on the big data to get the required data. That's it. The use of the Hadoop software only for analysis to get the required information from my big data. Isn't it? Every Friday, we are sending to the client OLTP only required files. We are sending that. First, we imported all his big data to my HDFS, my distributing file system, and we done analysis Monday to Friday. And what are the analysis we completed? What are the results we got it in my distributing file system? We will export simply to the client location from my distributing file system. Only required information, that's it. Hadoop is not a reporting tool. Most of the people are confusing that Hadoop is also making a report. Hadoop is not a reporting tool. Hadoop only for analyzing analytics of big data to get the required information. That's it. So this Hadoop is given by Apache, is open source. Anybody can download it. Anybody can use this software for their big data analysis, No need of license, no need of authorization. So obviously people are going to compare the point with Hadoop and SQL. SQL, there's no need to compare with SQL. SQL is nothing if you compare with Hadoop. SQL is only for limited database analysis. SQL using for only structured data analysis only. If you want hardware limitation to prepare the big data analysis with the SQL also, it will be very slow. If you run the query, SQL query in 1 terabyte table, it will take a lot of time to process the query, to execute the query on the database of the SQL query. But SQL only for limited and only for structured data analysis. But here, Hadoop support any format that I told you here. The big data means, the large volumes of data means the client giving to you either structured data, maybe client giving the unstructured data, the client can give the maybe semi-structured data. Any type of data can give it for you from his warehouses, from his file system, from his sources. So Hadoop will work on the structured data, Hadoop will work on unstructured data, Hadoop will work on semi-structured data. So you know that what is the structured data? Obviously, what is the structured data? So databases, you know that SQL, right? All OLTP simply. Yes. If client giving any OLTP to me as a source, yes, that is obviously structured data. Yes, I can analyze with Hadoop software. And unstructured data. Yes, SQL is doing analyzing the logs data. Hadoop, what about SQL? No. Unstructured data 100% will be analyzing by Hadoop software. What is unstructured data? Logs data. Yes. Binary data. Text format you can take it. Images you can take it. Social network messages you can take it. All type of this data also will be analyzing by Hadoop software. Web logs, whatever server generating the data, obviously is unstructured data, is obviously a logs data. Yes, we can analyze with that. And next, the third type is a semi-structured data. Semi-structured data, that is XML format. You see the data, sometimes you are going to see the data in the tags. Yes, XML data also will be analyzing with Hadoop software. Any format of the data which is using for analyzing the Hadoop software, that is whatever size of the data, doesn't matter for Hadoop software, it will be analyzing the data. Reducing a lot of time and reducing a lot of cost with using Hadoop software to analyze the big data. The only target, the applying the Hadoop software on the big data, with your skill. What is the skill you are going to apply in the big data? Yes, query. You can run on the big data, or you can run the program on the big data, or you can run the script on the big data, or you can run the Python languages on the big data to get the what? The results I want it. I want required information from my client's sources, which I am taking to the Hadoop. Then I will do the analysis. I got the required data. That is my required information. That is the end of the project. As a Hadoop developer, what he is doing, regular responsibility in the project, he should analyze his client data on his file system and to get the required results. I analyzed the Rama.txt. I got the results Lakshman.txt. Yes, as Hadoop developer, my responsibility completed. The Lakshman.txt, which I will export to the client OLTP, whatever client wanted. And sometimes the required results you got it, and client want report. Hadoop is not using for making reports. Yes, obviously this required information I will export to the simply to the first of all to the OLTP, then BI. Then the client want maybe bars, maybe client want dashboards, maybe client want bars, charts, 3D graphs, whatever you want. With the BI I will make it the reports. Yes, we are going to apply the big data. We're going to apply the Hadoop sort of the big data to get the required results. What do you skills apply in the big data? What are the logic you apply in the big data? Yes, the option is that to analysis that you can use the program here. The program is Hadoop program language is a MapReduce program. No, Venkat, I'm not very good in the programming. Can I use the query? Yes. The query language is that it's like SQL. Hive query language is a SQL. Yes, you can run the query also on the big data. No, Venkat, I'm very good in the scripting language. Yes, the scripting language is a big component. Everything is open source, which I mentioned here. No, Venkat, I'm expert in the Python. Yes, you can run the Python also. Whatever you run on the big data, you use the query or you run the program or you run the big script. I want required information which I need to export to the client location or which I need to transfer to the BI to make reports. But here, the Hive Piggo MapReduce program only for analysis to get the required information from the big data. And once you get the results, you should export to the OLTP. Then your responsibility is completed as a Hadoop developer. Then be a consultant who knows how to make the reports. They will make the reports. Nowadays, very popular business intelligence tool, especially most of the companies using for BA tool, the TableU. And some people using ClickView. These are very hot cake in the market now to make reports which are very flexible to integrate with Hadoop API to make reports. Yes, previously Cognos, MSBA, SAP BAs are there, but nowadays it's a very functionality. I mean, very less coding to make a report to work with using with the TableU and ClickView. 90% of the work is the mouse manipulating if you use the TableU and ClickView tool to make reports. And very expensive, not open source TableU and ClickView. Definitely, if you want to make a report after analyzing the big data, definitely you should go with the TableU or ClickView or MSBA or Cognos or your client choice. But still now, Apache still now didn't give any open source BA tool. Except BA, Apache giving everything to you. Yes, here I mentioned to analyze the big data, I mentioned the MapReduce program Hive Pig. And obviously, Venkat, you said Hadoop using for big data analysis and SQL itself is a database. I can create the database in SQL. I can analyze SQL data tables with SQL query language. But you saying that Hadoop is only software. It is not using to create the database. Hadoop is not using to store the database. Hadoop is only software, only for analyzing the big data. But when the client giving the large data to you, and where are you going to put the data? This is the first question you're going to raise it maybe. Yes. What is the main here? The specialty of Hadoop software, where it's going to put the data, where it's going to store the data to analyze the data. Yes, when the client granted all the privilege of his sources, right? Definitely, if you want to use the big data analysis with Hadoop software, and Hadoop founder very clearly said that in his articles, you guys should prepare the distributing file system. That is called HDFS. Hadoop Distributed File System. Without HDFS, Hadoop API will not do anything. Distributing file system nothing but set of machines or set of nodes. We are going to analyze the big data with a single machine in the production. It is a very big mistake. We are going to analyze the big data with a multiple nodes cluster. Distributing file system. It's set of machine or you can say set of nodes which are using to store the data. HDFS enables you to store the bulk values of your client data into the HDFS. Yes, your Hadoop software working on the top of HDFS. Distributing file system only for storage. It is not going to execute any process. Once you guys prepare the HDFS, then pull the data from the client source to the HDFS. The ETL you can use it. Informatica data stores also can use it, but Informatica data stores are expensive on license versions. Instead of using Informatica data stores, and Apache given the open source component Scoop Flume to pull the data from the source to the HDFS, import export. Every project will start work with the development of the first ETL. Whatever client giving the sources to you, you just simply pull the data to HDFS, then do the analysis. If you go to anywhere in the world, big data analysis projects, only two operations, sir. One is write the data, one is read the data. Write the data means ETL. I mean, using ETL, I will pull the data from the client source to the HDFS, then I will do the analysis. Yes, HDFS is not a software. HDFS is it's a preparing by cloud computing providers or infrastructure providers. That means, and or else if your company has a capability to prepare the file system, you can prepare it. But nowadays, 90% of the companies using the cloud services for HDFS. If you ask me, my present project, my HDFS size is 75 nodes file system. Each machine is a 3 terabytes. 75 machines file system my HDFS. We already pulled the data from the Walmart from different branches of the database to the HDFS, and we started already analysis almost 5 months back. In HDFS, what data you put it? All are the OLTP sources. Walmart given to me sources, all are OLTPs. We just simply imported the HDFS, then we started analysis. So distributing file system only for storing the data. That means only for data distribution only. It is not used to execute the process. Isn't it? Suppose in your home you have 10 laptops, you can prepare the 10 laptops, 10 machines file system. Simply with the network file system using NFS. Distributing file system only for executing only to store the data. But where is the process executing that? Yes, on top of distributing file system, that is the engine that is called MapReduce. HDFS, distributing file system, MapReduce is the engine. What engine? Hadoop engine. Every software is engine, right? SQL has own engine, C has own engine, C++ has own engine, Java has own engine. Here also Hadoop engine name is MapReduce. MapReduce, which is always working on top of distributing file system. The combination of distributing file system plus MapReduce is equal to Hadoop. That's it. This is the main subject. This is the main architecture of the project. Your distributing file system working with the MapReduce engine. For what? Analyzing the data. Your MapReduce, you're executing the process. HDFS understands only MapReduce. Distributing file system understands only MapReduce program. Because HDFS default language is MapReduce program. The founder giving this software to work on distributing file system. That's why when Hadoop installing your machine, it asks you to prepare the file system, then MapReduce API integrated automatically by the API. So this combination is Hadoop. Without distributing file system, MapReduce will not do anything. Without MapReduce, HDFS will not do anything. The both combination is I can make a project. I can make a solution for my client. So here everything is open source, but you guys should invest to only prepare the HDFS. This is only to should invest. Yes, you need to buy the storage. Yes, Walmart giving to us 200 terabytes. 200 terabytes. We bought the storage from Amazon. Storage. We bought the 75 machines. Suppose we bought the 75 machine storage from the Amazon. We are paying the billing to the Amazon every monthly based on the meter price. You will costing that. So no Venkat, we will prepare our own file system in my company with your own capability, with your own infrastructure. No problem, you can prepare it. No problem. Cloud computing is the best nowadays. Most of the time people are using cloud computing because no hardware, no software, no headaches. So distributing file system is only for storage data. This is going to be data distribution, and on this top of HDFS, there is an engine is there, that is a MapReduce that is going to execute the process, and that is nothing but Hadoop. If you are analyzing any file of HDFS, you should follow the MapReduce engine. Yes, definitely. On top of distributing file, MapReduce engine is there. HDFS understands only MapReduce. Yes, I am telling here, Venkat, you said you can analyze the big data with the query language also, you told me. Yes, you can run the query also on HDFS. But when you run the query on HDFS, your query by default, it converts into MapReduce program at the compilation time automatically because HDFS understands MapReduce only. Except MapReduce program, if you run anything on the MapReduce engine, everything will be converted to MapReduce program because HDFS understands only MapReduce. Apache said Hadoop is not a single setup. Hadoop is a framework. Hadoop is ecosystem. You can say it's a framework or you can say ecosystem. Nothing but set of components. HDFS, MapReduce. These are two main components. Remaining all subcomponent. Every subcomponent should go via MapReduce engine only. Every subcomponent should be integrated to MapReduce engine by administrator when he is setting the Hadoop software in his machines. Yes, without HDFS we can't do, without MapReduce we can't do anything. Both combination is Hadoop, that I'm telling that. Yes, Hadoop is a framework, nothing but set of components. Already mentioned to you, HDFS, MapReduce. And remaining components that are all subcomponents, Hive. Yes, Nest Pig. Nest, Scoop, Flume. These are all subcomponents. Hive is not independent, Pig is not independent, Scoop is not independent, Flume is not independent. Everything should go via MapReduce. Hive, Pig are using for what? To analyze the data. Analysis. Hive, Pig are using for what? Analysis. And Scoop, Flume. Yes, ETL, writing the data from the source to the HDFS. See that Apache can everything to you. We don't need to go for any other tools. For analysis tools here, there Hive, Pig is there. Yes, and one more language that I MapReduce program. This is a default language. Yes, if you are very good in the programming, yes, you can select the MapReduce program to analyze the distributing file system files. If you're good in the scripting, you use Pig. If you're good in the query, you use Hive. And Scoop, Flume or ETL, that is compulsory. Developer responsibility, senior developer responsibility to analyze the data of the HDFS. Before analyzing the data, you should import the data to the HDFS from the source with the using Scoop, Flume. Everything is open source. Hive, Pig, Scoop, Flume, everything is open source. This is in the starting days of the project. Still now, this is the project's main project architecture. Wait a point, guys. If data analysis only two operations, sir. Write the data, read the data. Writing Hive, writing Scoop, Flume, reading Hive, Pig, MapReduce program. If you run Scoop also, from the source to the HDFS, your Scoop convert into MapReduce program at the compilation automatically because HDFS understand MapReduce. No, Venkat, I will install only Hive without MapReduce engine. Can I work it? It is impossible. Hive is not independent API. Hive is integrated the MapReduce compulsory. Hive request going via MapReduce engine. I run the query suppose like this. Select name from table name where the city equal to Singapore. What happened in backend? Yes, your query is counted to MapReduce program at the compilation time. The same requirement I implemented the MapReduce program. I got the results. With the Hive query also I got the same results. But what is the difference? MapReduce program is the performance will be high. Hive query performance will be low compared to the MapReduce program because Hive taking the conversion time. The MapReduce program will not take conversion because HDFS default language is MapReduce program, isn't it? Performance difference means, but the Hive and MapReduce program paid. According to my experience, I done one requirement of the MapReduce program. It taking the 8 minutes with the MapReduce program to analyze one file. The same requirement on the same file, I run the Hive query. It taking the 12 minutes. With the MapReduce program taking 8 minutes. With the Hive query taking the 12 minutes. That is the difference only. 3 or 4, 5 minutes only difference. Not be hourly difference with Hive query analysis, with the Pig analysis, with the MapReduce program analysis. Just minutes difference only. We'll see that in the production. Wait, guys. Yes, guys, are you following my points?
Yes, go ahead.
So, with this Hadoop framework, we are going to do that with all these components, which I mentioned above here. I can tell you my complete project architecture. I simply mentioned that batch processing offline only, buddy. Here I said, I'm telling that Hadoop is offline processing analysis. Write the data once into the HDFS, buddy, and reading the data many times. If you write the data into HDFS one time, again you can't modify the existing file of HDFS. No modification, no appending, no updations. But I'm telling that write the data once and reading the data many times with all these components. That means, what is the meaning of offline? No random readings, no random writing, isn't it? What is the meaning of no random reading, guys? Suppose I run the query in SQL, select name from table name where the city equal to Singapore. What happening? Only city column reading, right? Isn't it? The same query if you run on this Hadoop HDFS, your entire file will be scanning that. First line to last line of the file will be scanning. So time consuming or not? Yes, guys?
Yes.
Yes, if you run the program, if you run the query also on HDFS with iQuery also, same, your complete table will be scanning that. No random reading. If you mention where the city code Bangalore in the query also, it is not reading only city column, it reading complete table. First line to last line. That is the main thing.
So sir, one question.
Please.
So when we go for Hive, when we go for MapReduce?
Yes. See that when you go, if you see the structured data, most of the people who see the structured data, they will select first Hive, right? Isn't it? Got a point?
Yes.
Instead of writing 60, 70 lines of MapReduce program, I'll write the query with a single 2 lines, isn't it? If I write the subquery maximum 2 lines, I will write it, isn't it? But MapReduce program will take at least 60, 70 lines code should write it. But if you run with the MapReduce program on the same file, if you run the iQuery in the same file, you're getting same results. According to survey, most of the developers selecting first Hive preference. After that MapReduce program, isn't it? In traditional, SQL, PLSQL is there. First you are going to select SQL. If you're not getting problem solution with SQL, I used to go with the PLSQL, isn't it?
Correct.
Obviously, here also I use a query language. I can't use if, while, for loop. Definitely, if you want procedural language implementation, I will go with the MapReduce program. If it is not possible with the iQuery, I will give the 99.9% any structured data analysis. In case if you are not getting required data with query language, then I will go with the MapReduce program, isn't it? For Java guys, about you're very passionate on Java programming, and you definitely can directly select the MapReduce program. Definitely, you can say MapReduce program is easy than iQuery because you are very good in the programming, isn't it? Right now. Most of the people confusing that only Java developers should play as Hadoop developer. That is a very big mistake. SQL developers, PLSQL developer, .NET programmers also, automation testers also, they're converting to Hadoop career, isn't it? So because here not only program mandatory for every time, you can use scripting language, you can use query language, and if you know Python also you can run it, isn't it? You don't mind? Because as an architecture, as SME, I used to prepare the architecture diagram to my client. Isn't it? According to my team skills, I will prepare the architecture diagram. Then I will send the architecture diagram to client. If I approve that, then I will start that implementation. According to diagram, isn't it? Because client given the all OLTP sources to me, MySQL DB to give it to me. Definitely my team is ready to work with the Hive only, isn't it? Guys,
You
client given
cover
the DB to MySQL.
Java and Python in this.
Sorry. Sorry.
Actually, you cover Python and Java in this course.
No. Python is different. Yeah, Python. I'm telling that to analyze distributing files to Python also can use it if you know Python. But Python is not belongs to Hadoop API. See that here I mentioned Hive, Piggoose, Kupu. Everything is the Hadoop API, isn't it? Hadoop API, Hive, Piggoose, Kupu. But Python is not a Hadoop framework. It's a third-party vendor, isn't it?
No. My question is sorry. Actually, my question is you actually cover Java or Python?
No, sir. Java only.
Java only. Okay, that's why I'm asking. Somebody gave some example for Python. That's why I'm asking you.
No. Python we will
because the Python normally
Python is optional. That is last stage. If you want to go with the Python, because Apache given already all components. Again, why I need Python integration? Again, time waste. Already Apache given everything. Hive, MapReduce, everything is there. Already internally is there. That is optional last stage. If you're not getting 100% MapReduce program, in case if you're not getting required result with iQuery, 100% MapReduce program will give the solution, isn't it? Because MapReduce program is a procedural language, isn't it?
Okay.
That's why definitely will give the and MapReduce program specialty. It analyzes logs files. It analyzes the binary files. MRP. MapReduce program. Hive is only structured data analysis, isn't it? Got a point, guys. When you see the data with the right set of rows and columns, then I can easily analyze with the iQueries. But when I see in the logs format, when I see in the binary format, when I see in the text format, when I see in the web logs data, definitely MapReduce program will give the solution. MapReduce program, using MapReduce program, I can analyze any file format, isn't it? But I have only structured data analysis. Got a point?
Yeah.
So with this component, what is my single title? Yes, with this component which I mentioned in the screen here, only batch processing offline, sir. And you're going to see clearly drawback here. With this component, you are going to see one drawback. No random reading, no random writing. Isn't it? I told you previous example, where city called Bangalore, I run the query with the where city called Bangalore. It is not reading only city column. Complete table scanning. Isn't it? Time consuming. The batch processing offline, that means write data once from the source and reading the data of HDFS with many times. Isn't it? What is the meaning of this? No random reading, guys. With the above all these components, no random reading. With a Hive, with a Pig, with a MapReduce program, with a Scoop, Flume, no random reading, no random writing, guys. This is the red drawback. This drawback is there up to 2009. Apache, this issue faced up to 2009. And 2009 ending, Apache released the one more subcomponent, that is HBase. That is NoSQL. Isn't it, guys? What more point? When HBase released by Apache, Apache said very proudly, Hadoop is not only for offline analysis, Hadoop will do online analysis also. Isn't it my point, guys? Clear my point? And HBase is an independent API. HBase, no need of MapReduce engine backend, isn't it? But Hive, Pig, Scoop, Flume, every time backend MapReduce engine is working that. Isn't it? This is independent API, which is working directly on top of HDFS. No need of MapReduce engine conversion. Every subcomponent using the storage from where? HDFS only. Your data storage only HDFS. Here, if you want to online analysis also, HBase need it. Not with the Hive, not with the Pig, not with the MapReduce program, isn't it? Now, I want to develop the web application with the HBase. Yes, I can implement the web application with HBase. Like eBay.com, like Flipkart.com, like Snapdeal.com. Right? All these web applications running with HBase. Because they maintain the large volumes of data in HDFS. To read the data HDFS randomly, to write the data in HDFS randomly, in Hadoop only one component is there, that is HBase. What my point, guys? Is it my point? So when you decide to work with HBase, when HBase added to your project, yes, I can do big data analysis simply batch processing online. Yes. See that. Hive, Pig, MapReduce program only to get the results and take the result to transport export to OLTP. But here HBase, batch processing online. If you analyze with HBase and directly you can transfer the result from HBase to where? You don't need export again to OLTP. You can directly transfer to where? BI. To make what? Reports. Yes, guys? This is my point, guys. If you decide to work directly with the client data in online and transfer the data transfer to the via HBase into the HDFS and analyze with HBase and I got the required results and required result directly I will transport HBase to BI. Previously, what I done? I export here in the starting class. Here I mentioned clearly, yes, I used to transfer to OLTP first of all. Why I am transferring OLTP to BI again? Because HDFS is offline. So compulsory, if I analyze the required information with Hive, Pig and MapReduce program, the result storing HDFS, I will export to the OLTP, then transfer into the BI to make reports. But when I analyze the data with online, with HBase, I got the results, I am directly transfer the results from HBase to BI to make reports. Yes, guys? Understand my point?
Yeah.
Now, if you run the query with HBase, where the city code Bangalore, yes, obviously HBase only reading the city column instead of reading full table scanning. The same query if you run Hive, it reads the complete table of your requirement, isn't it? But here only required column reading that because HBase API designed by founder like that. So that's why HBase engine is not a backend MapReduce. Hive, Pig, Scoop, Flume, everything using backend MapReduce, but HBase is independent API. HBase also subcomponent. HBase also it's built on top of HDFS only, isn't it? But it is doing the data randomly reading and random writing by HBase, isn't it? Insert into table values you done in SQL, right? The same way you can done in HBase also. Random writing in HDFS. Column by column insert into HDFS, or you can import bulk data also. What about guys? Hello?
Yeah.
So
Yeah,
here analysis, Hive, Pig, MapReduce program, HBase. These are four are using for analysis. Scoop, Flume for to pull the data means ETL, write the data to the HDFS. So with all these 7 components which I'm mentioning here now, HDFS, MapReduce, Hive, Pig, Scoop, Flume, HBase. These are the 7 components is a big data architecture, the big data project. Isn't it, guys? Here, Hadoop doing batch processing offline, batch processing online. See that here engines, Hadoop found again the 2 types of engines, guys, MRV1 and MRV2. MapReduce version 1, MapReduce version 2. Your distributing file work with MRV1 now, you are going to do big data analysis only, no problem. If you are working with the MRV2 engine also, the same results only get it. Isn't my point? But nowadays, 90% of the companies using that big data analysis, latest engine MRV2, isn't it? MapReduce version 2 YARN. Isn't it? Your project architecture either with MRV1, either with MRV2 YARN, guys. Not will be both on top of HDFS. Isn't it? Your SME, your architecture will be decided in the beginning of the project. What is our environment of the project? Yes, HDFS MRV1, okay. Or HDFS with MRV2 YARN, yes. If you work with MRV1, MRV2, the point I can tell you, yes, it's only for disk processing analysis, guys. Only disk processing. Remember, if you are distributing files and working with MRV1 or MRV2 YARN, the concept only disk processing analysis. Every phase, every iteration in the engine only disk. There is no RAM involvement. I mean, what a point, analyzing the data, there is no RAM involvement here. I mean, especially to store the data, to analyze the data. Only disk processing, the engine saying that. What a point? All of you. Yes, guys?
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, Venkat? Can you hear?
Yes, yes.
Yeah.
So,
Yeah,
now come to the point. Yes. Venkat, you saying that HDFS MRV1 or HDFS MRV2 on. If you work with MRV1 and MRV2, the both are using for analyzing the big data. Yes. Batch processing offline, batch processing online. Venkat, you saying that batch processing offline, batch processing online, most of the projects are batch processing online. But why the company is going to Spark? They're not avoiding Hadoop. Why they're going to Spark? See that. Spark also using the big data storage from where? HDFS only. In fact, it's the same. But on the top of HDFS, the Spark API. Isn't it? This is for what? Memory processing, guys. Understand my point? What a point? If you are working with HDFS with MRV1, unlimited nodes, buddy, n number of machines you can prepare that. If you want to offer disk processing analysis, your distributing file system, there is no any limiter. Isn't it? Now Facebook application running with the HDFS size, Facebook application HDFS size, 85,000 machines file system running in San Francisco, US, in data center of the Facebook. 80,000 machines files running. Disk processing only. The application connected with the HBase with the NoSQL technology. The application running very fast. When the customer enters the username password in the front page, immediate results will verify that with HBase, not with the Hive. So here what I'm saying that Hadoop, MRV1, MRV2, disk processing analysis, when the HDFS work with the Spark engine, memory processing analysis, and what is not there in Hadoop. If you work with MRV2 and MRV2 YARN, completely batch processing online. But here in MRV1 engine, there is no any streaming analysis, especially. The main issue here, in MapReduce engine, there is no streaming purely. You can do either batch processing offline or you can do batch processing online analysis of the big data analysis for your clients, but no streaming. Definitely, you should go to work with the Spark engine. If clients, especially if you want streaming analysis, you can go with the Spark engine. Isn't it? Spark doing batch processing online and it doing streaming also. Got it now? Spark is unification API for all things, offline, online, streaming. But Hadoop, online, offline, not streaming.
Venkat?
Yes.
What do you mean by streaming here?
Streaming, very good question here. Streaming means, example, Twitter here. Twitter is a pure streaming application, right? Suppose in Mumbai, there is an audio function, live audio function running. I'm watching TV in Bangalore. That is streaming. Isn't it?
No, I got it. Yeah, like our live match.
Exactly. Suppose Modi is there.
I want to get a clarification.
Today I'm going to America. Modi update like this, and who are the followers of the Modi? Immediately status will be updated. In the second, that news is very new. That is streaming. Tomorrow that news is very old. That is not streaming, isn't it?
Correct.
Streaming. Immediate results will be doing that, and on the way of the flow, data will be filtering that. Example, LinkedIn. LinkedIn using streaming analysis, especially for their application. You see the news feed. In LinkedIn news feed, you see that That is a pure streaming analysis, isn't it?
So you mean to say this Spark is only for streaming?
No, no.
Plus SGFS.
No, Spark special. So what is the additional thing in the Spark? What is not there in Hadoop? Spark additional thing is the memory processing as well as streaming analysis. Isn't it? Spark will do batch processing offline, batch online also. Isn't it? The highlight of the specialty of Spark streaming, isn't it? Compared with Hadoop.
Venkat, one question. Say why streaming analysis for through Flume? Why?
Sorry.
For Spark?
Pardon?
Why we use for Flume? Flume. Can we use the streaming in through Flume?
Yes. Flume is only to pull the data, sir. Only take the data only, isn't it? Flume is not even filtering. Nowadays Kafka using, isn't it? When you Kafka integrate with the source and what is the data sent by server, the running server, isn't it? In the Kafka interface, I mentioned the logic C equal to A plus B, and the results will be filtering in the Kafka interface on the way of the flow, and results will be taken to the HBase or Cassandra or MongoDB. Understand my point? Streaming, when the streaming connected with the Kafka, definitely Kafka what will do without putting to any HDFS, your analysis will be happen in the on the way of the flow. Data will be filtering in the on the way of the flow, and the results will go into directly to HBase. If you put the destination HBase, or if you put the destination MongoDB, you can put it, no problem, isn't it? Clear my point, guys?
Okay, Venkat, like when we talk about this HivePig, okay, especially, and Python also, right? So all these three are different scripting languages.
Hive is a query language, Pig is a scripting language, MapReduce is completely procedure language. See that, sir? If you MapReduce, if you want to expert, just only basic core Java enough, sir. I don't want advanced Java, J2E, nothing. In core Java, only basics enough. Already you guys know if while, do while. That is common, isn't it? Even 2060 came, 70 came. Logic always implemented with the if while, do while, isn't it? For loop, isn't it? If you've seen one map program, remaining 99 maps.
No, my question is not complete, Venkat. My question is not complete yet.
Sorry.
See, when we talk about this Pig, okay, and that is a separate scripting language apart from the Python or whatever the scripting language.
Yes.
So that is like out of the box from this Hadoop ecosystem. This Pig scripting languages. Is it?
Sorry, what is out of box of which language? Python or are you using Pig?
No, I mean the complete ecosystem, Hadoop ecosystem. This Pig is out of the box of it, right?
Obviously, it's a new API language, isn't it? But it's following backend MapReduce API, isn't it? See that when you decide to work with the HivePig language, you can think SQL. Don't think in the MapReduce API, isn't it? When you're writing SQL Hive query to analyze your data, only think in SQL terminology and write your query, isn't it? And backend, whatever query run, backend automatically engine will take in conversion to the MRP, isn't it? It accept the MapReduce program. Everything is out of box, sir, isn't it? Here we not. There's no mandate to follow every time MapReduce engine, isn't it?
Correct.
Only MapReduce program who are selected by team member, he will think always in the Java terminology, in the MapReduce program terminology to analyze the data. Obviously, if I selected Hive or different, I will use a select command group by alter by sum of max average count, isn't it? All these functions, partition function, all these functions I will use to write the query to get my results, isn't it? I don't bother what happening in the backend.
I could understand in a very, very high level of this ecosystem. But you were telling about the main purpose of this ecosystem is to analyze and give the results, right?
Exactly.
So could you please give me any test case what you have encountered? Okay, then I'll understand in a better manner.
What is the use case?
Yeah, use case.
I'll show you in data sample data set. Suppose I will learn most of the big data developers, they will not go to production first of all, right? We will use first sample file analysis. Okay, the sample file we take in the 5 GB file, sir. Okay, in production the same file will be 2 terabytes, but 5 GB sample file which is in my own cluster, okay, in my company cluster, not in Amazon cluster. What we'll do, we'll run the maybe HiQuery and 5 GB, okay, for one requirement, okay, on the same file, right? One more colleague run the MapReduce program on the 5 GB, isn't it? And he got the results, okay. You got the results, maybe 500 MB. He also got the same results, 500 MB. Okay. So this is my results. I got the required data or not? Yes. I got the required data. I run the successfully my query. My results are right. My PL or whatever he approved, my client approved that. The same query I will run in the production. For it now. The same query I run the 2 terabyte. I got the required data is the 50 GB. I got it. Isn't it? This required data which is stored in where? Again, HDFS. Isn't it? Your input file 2 terabytes in HDFS only. After analyze the 2 terabyte, I got the required results. 50 GB also stored in HDFS. Isn't it? Got a mind? This results I will export to with the scope to where? OLTP, sir. This is my regular responsibility as a senior developer, isn't it? Analyzed 2 terabyte with HiQuery. I got the results 50 GB. That is also stored in HDFS. Immediately I need to export to OLTP. Once client approved my 50 GB required data or not, then I will delete from HDFS because I need a space for HDFS to analyze in future jobs, isn't it? Got a point, guys? Why I am running the first sample file in 5 GB in my cluster, my office cluster? Because if you go to daily production, if you get the wrong output, right? The wrong output stored in HDFS again. Waste of time to store the wrong output, isn't it, guys? And waste of storage also storing the wrong output. That's why before going to production, we will always do the sample files on my own cluster of my company, isn't it? So definitely sample files, most of the time client will give that, isn't it? In Excel sheets. What a point. This is normal use cases. See that normally web application development 3-tier architecture, sir. If you want to analyze the big data analysis, 4-tier architecture will following that. You know that what are the 4 types of architecture of the big data projects? See that? What is the 3-tier architecture of the web application development?
Let me see.
See that UI, isn't it? Server, am I right, guys? And DB. This is the normal web application development. If you want to analyze the big data of your client, the architecture, first sources, the client, what is the sources are giving to you? Okay. Then what? Data injection, that is ETL. Then you take the analysis. Then you take the BI. This is that. Okay. 90% of the big data analysis, report purpose. 95% purpose, the required results they want in the form of reports. See guys, sources, ETL, analysis, BI. Sources what means? SQL start place, MySQL, MS SQL, DB2 are servers. Isn't it, guys? And ETL, Scoop, Flume, open sources. I will not use Informatica data stage. Analysis, Hive, Piggo, MapReduce program, and optional Python. And BI, Tableau, ClickView, Cognos, MSBI. Yes, guys? Yes, guys, understood my point, guys?
Yeah. Okay.
For streaming purpose, how to the?
Sorry? Yes. Yes, see that? Very good question.
Streaming.
Obviously, yes, sources I mentioned that. Here, if source is a server, all right. Yes, you can use Flume and import to where? HDFS. All right. If you're doing batch processing offline, you just import HDFS. The server 24/7 running that. The logs data which is generated by server, the Flume is taken to HDFS. Isn't it? Got a point, guys? Then you can analyze with your program, with the MapReduce program or with the Pig. Isn't it? Right a point, guys? Then results stored in where? HDFS again. Then transfer to where? BI or OLTP. BI, isn't it? And streaming. Yes. If you want streaming, server and with Kafka, no Flume here. Kafka is doing both filtering and ETL. Okay. There is a filter logic implemented here on the Kafka interface and taking the
Kafka again open source, isn't it?
Yes, open source, yes.
From Apache itself?
Apache itself, yes, Apache Kafka, yeah.
Then how does Flume and Kafka are different here?
Flume is only importing, sir, isn't it?
Okay, that's what.
Only
Okay,
importing.
yeah,
Kafka doing the both, filtering it, taking the data,
understood.
and it
Yeah,
taking the
yeah,
result to the data to where it will take the most of the people using destination. Some people using HBase, some people using MongoDB, some people using Cassandra when they're doing the streaming analysis, and the results will be transferring to the finally to BI if they want, isn't it? Clear my point, guys?
Okay.
Any
Where
questions?
comes Spark?
Huh? Yes, your Kafka
Spark
logic,
where
I
it
implement
comes?
the filter with the Scala language.
Spark only,
Your
yeah.
filtering logic, I use the Scala.
Hmm.
If you know Java, you can use Java also. Spark API, there is no any default language for the Spark engine. It supports
Okay.
Scala,
Can we
Java,
use
Python.
your Shark?
Sorry?
Shark.
No, I didn't work on Spark. Spark, no, I'm not. No one is using Spark. I think it's a separate API.
Okay.
Yeah,
Okay.
isn't it, guys?
So for Spark purpose we are using Scala, correct?
Yes, Spark is Spark API. Your choice, sir. If you want Java, you can use Java. If you want Scala, no problem. Spark engine is unification API, isn't it?
No. See, I'm asking. So in this course we have covered Scala and Java both, correct?
Yes, Scala. When I'm explaining the Spark training, I will use the Scala, not Java.
Okay. Okay.
Because even most of the experienced Java developers also, they're very they feel very easy to work with the Scala.
Okay.
The main difference which I seen as a Java developer with the Scala working, the minimizing the code. Yes, Scala is a functional oriented language. I used to write Java program, may take in the 20 lines. The same requirement I written in Scala, maybe take in the 4-5 lines only.
Okay.
Because most of the functionality we are going to work with 3 different functions of the Scala. Even Karthikeyan, your Java guy, you know that the Java 8 latest version. Java 8 also, they completed with the Scala actually, but actually Java 8 also, right, Java 8 also to be very down with the Scala. Scala will be better than Java 8 also. Actually, after Scala, Java 8 is introduced by Oracle. But Java still following this, so much complexity of the coding, and Scala will be very flexible now.
Okay.
So this is the architecture, sir. You could see the either project can you work still batch processing offline or batch processing online or streaming. Most of the project we are doing batch processing offline, batch processing online. Sometimes the client, if you want running server analysis with the streaming, then we'll go with the Kafka, definitely Spark API. Okay. The streaming API is not there in Hadoop in MRV1 and MRV2. And one more thing, guys. Maybe you know SOA, isn't it? Right? What is SOA, sir?
Yeah.
Service oriented
architecture.
Yes. See, the latest I done one freelance project for the US for an healthcare application. What they say, first they given the big data. Okay, from the sources of the OLTP, sir. Many OLTPs they given that. We just imported with the scoop to where HDFS. After analyzing the data, the results we got it, that is storing where in HDFS only, right? The results, what we'll do that, we transfer to OLTP. What he done, he don't want reports. He want to use the required data again for his application development. UI, server, isn't it, guys? And DB. That's it. Previously, I told 95% of the project, the client want required data for making reports or dashboards or bars or charts, 3D graphs. But here, in this project, actually his target of the project, SOA. But he has a huge amount of data in his sources. But he want to use his backend of the application, but he don't want all the data. He want only required data. What he done? He recruited Hadoop developer. He done an analysis of the Hadoop software, and he got the results. He transferred to OLTP. Now he using right for his application required data, isn't it, guys? Yes, Karthikeyan. Understand my point?
Yes.
Yes. This type of projects also we are going to see that. These are very rarely. Required results they can use for report. Maybe they can use for their application development. Isn't it now?
Correct.
Like that. Example, simply in India, Myntra, something web application, the e-commerce. They don't want to sell all the products to compete with the eBay or Amazon. But eBay, Amazon, and Flipkart, they're selling a lot of products, a lot of data. They need it. Compulsory, they need distributing file system. But if Myntra, they want to sell only required products, which are which are the customer visiting for which products. They want to only sell that products only. Customer who are buying more products. What I said, they take in large volumes of data and they take in analyzing the data, and they take in only required data in their application. So Myntra is selling only some of the products only. They are not selling everything. If you open eBay and Flipkart, men's section, women's section, home accessories, a lot of products are selling that. But Myntra is selling only required information, required data they maintain the application without using distributing file stuff, because it will be costing to maintain the HDFS for their application. That's why they are using limited data for their application to run the e-commerce applications. So that type of project we are going to see that. Isn't it, guys? Yes. Yes. Any questions, guys? See that latest, my freelance project, I prepared the one diagram, one architecture diagram. Then you can easily understand more. Karthikeyan, you there?
Yes, yes.
Balaji, you there? Right.
Yeah, Venkat.
See, guys, I already mentioned big data projects. This is my proposed solution, the latest project 6 months back. Still, we are going to work on this project. See that sources, the first layer. See the data injection, second tier, and third tier. You see that analysis. IOPIG. Only in this diagram I mentioned IOPIG because is most of the sources OLTP. See that SQL star place. Did you observe that, guys? Did you observe that, guys?
Yeah.
SQL star place, CMR, GFS, OPEX. Yes, Ram. Got it now? So we taken the data to where? HDFS. But we done analysis on IO and PIG. And we export to where? ClickView. That is the end of the project. The client selected ClickView, not TableView. Yes, whatever, ClickView or TableView. The final target to make a reports, isn't it? Yes, guys, my point?
Yeah.
And see the last data grid.
So why it comes HBase here?
No. Please see the, again come to source, sir. You see the data grid.
Okay.
And message queues, Kafka, Spark, taken to HBase. Isn't it?
Oh, okay.
That's why HBase to the, again to the ClickView directly. HBase no SQL. I don't want to transfer again to OLTP, isn't it? Got a point? Well,
Yes.
that's it. Got my point, guys? This is my architecture. And you see the now, you see the distributor here. Did you observe the distributor here? MapR. You see the distributor, guys, in third box. Distributor, the client, 99% of the big data projects distributor is that MapR, guys. The platform as a services, guys, distributor. Don't confuse that what is a distributor means. The very popular distributor for the big data analysis with Apache Hadoop software, the Cloudera. The first priority Cloudera. After Cloudera, the competitor with the Cloudera, then Hortonworks came. But the Hortonworks with many issues are there. Isn't it, guys? The distributor which I mentioned to you. Hortonworks, many issues are there. Better than Hortonworks, Cloudera is the better. Okay. MapR is the license version, expensive. Out of 100 companies, maybe 1 or 2 companies using MapR, but most of the companies using Cloudera. Okay. My everyday deployment environment is Cloudera distributor only, which is very user-friendly platform for you. What, guys? Yes, guys, understand my point? So the Cloudera distributor platform nowadays industry using the very 5.2, 4.7, 5.4. These are the regular environment of my projects. CDH 5.2 or 4.7, 5.2. Any version you can use. Only the difference of the distributor, only user friendliness difference. That's it. If you use the 4.7, right, less user friendly. Compared to the 4.7, 5.2 is very user friendly. Right? Everything is so many tabs, so many mouse pan printing work in the distributors. To see file system, to see engine UI, to see the number of jobs, everything you see that. Yes, guys, understand my point?
Yes.
Any questions, guys?
Okay. See, we covered entirely. We can using for Cloudera or separate.
Cloudera distributors.
So I'm talking about an installation point of view.
No. Installation I'm not doing it, sir. Only this complete depth of development training. Installation means that is admin part. isn't it?
No, I'm talking about that how to install Hadoop and how to install.
No, I'll give the predefined setup, sir. I'll give the image to you, the predefined API image, the Cloudera distributor. I'll give it through the Google Drive. Okay, you simply download it and you can access that image with the VMware.
Okay. So which version you're saying?
CDH 5.2, 4.7.
5.2, 4.7.
Yeah.
Okay. I think from 5.3 definitely it comes it's not working.
5.4 or 5.6 is the production issues are there. Industry is using 5.2, 4.7. If you use the 5.3 also no problem. Most of the time I used to face the deployment configuration errors with the 5.3.
Okay.
That's why as SME, as architecture, I decided to work with the 5.2 according to my client suggestion also. Right? So the same distributor we can work with.
Okay, so my question on here is, so you can simply download a Cloudera, okay, that is okay. How to know that configuration files, how to set up?
Yeah, we'll show them. We can see the configuration file. We can see the configuration file. It's not a matter, isn't it? Configuration file, we can see that replication value, how to configure that block size, you need to configure that. Isn't it? That will can see the property values.
I'm talking about that HiveSite.xml, the map or that everything we can able to see and edit.
Yeah, we can edit that. Yes. In the predefined Cloudera setup, we can edit it, but it will not update it because predefined image already given the default replication one given that because we are working with a single machine or machine, right? If you prepare the 5 machine, it will be accepting that, isn't it?
Okay.
What a point. Default Cloudera image is giving to you starting here, right? You can use one node cluster, isn't it?
Okay.
Default single node cluster. Single node cluster replication will be one only. Now we can't take more than one, isn't it?
Okay.
What a mind. Suppose if you have machines with you, 5 machine cluster, you can prepare it and you can access to Cloudera image. In that time, you can access, change the property of the replication or block.
No, I'm asking about that this course. In this course, can we able to configure? We can modify.
I will show you that the replication value how to change it, but it will not update in the Cloudera image.
Okay.
Okay, sir.
Okay, we can see the separate part, correct?
Yeah, we can see that the value we can change like this. I will show you like that. When I change the value, it will not update it to you, and that I'm telling you.
Can you give an example how to change the configuration?
See that now my time is enough, sir. 7 to 8, I taken that. Okay.
Okay.
Got it now. So any more questions? I got to development. Yes, Ram and Karthikeya and Balaji. Development, any questions?
No questions from my end, Venkat.
Yeah. Okay, guys. So
okay, thank you, Venkat, for your time.
Okay, Venkat.
Yeah, thank you.
We'll come to you.
We will get back to you at the latest. Thank you so much for your time.
Okay, bye.